for disease control in Atlanta. He's in an elevator with an armed contractor, a guy with a gun. That's against the protocol. But what's truly shocking, fortunately nothing happened, but what's truly shocking, the president didn't learn about this until all of us basically learned about it yesterday. That is amazing, isn't it?
As a member of Congress, I shouldn't hear about it before the President of the United States. And I think that's what's fundamentally wrong. I appreciate the men and women who serve in the Secret Service. They're amazing people, patriotic, do a very difficult job under stressful circumstances, to say the least. But it's just totally unacceptable to allow a person with a gun, with an arrest record, to stand next to the President of the United States. And if that does happen, then you need to get the internal affairs immediately involved. The President needs to know about it. And that needs to be rooted out. But as best I can tell, it was actually, there was an attempt to cover it up, make sure that the President never did hear about it, that the media and that Congress never heard about it. That's the point where it kind of goes over the edge and you just think this person is not up to the job.
Who was part of that alleged cover-up?
Well, I worry that the director herself was involved and that she did know about it. Now, that's a strong allegation, but the only way to root it out is to shed light on it. And to hear that the President hadn't heard about it, I never heard the Secret Service deny that this had ever happened. They certainly had an opportunity when contacted by the Washington Post to deny this. They never did deny it. So it leads us further to believe that there was a lot of truth to it. And certainly was one of the things that was cited by the White House spokesperson today. So we'll learn more and more intimate details to this. I think the White House, the Secret Service themselves, if they're going to gain some credibility back, Wolf, they need to start sharing this information. The night of the attack of the fence jumper, they said there was no weapon involved. But there was a weapon. They did have a gun. They said that they just got inside the door. Well, that doesn't the full truth either. And so you have to look to Ed Donovan, the spokesperson. You have to look to the Secret Service director herself. You're going to have to start looking further into that organization and change the culture, because you just can't mislead the American people in the United States Congress. You can't do that.
So you got an incident in the elevator with an armed guard there, basically shouldn't be anywhere near the President, with a gun. You got the fence jumper who gets into the East Room of the White House. In 2011, you have somebody shooting with about 7 bullets. They actually hit the windows of the residence of the White House. Nobody discovers it. For 4 days, a housekeeper discovers it. Here's the question, Congressman, because you've spent a lot of time investigating as the chairman of your subcommittee. Are there more incidents like this that the public doesn't know about yet?
Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, that's very true. In December of 2013, the Inspector General put out a report where Secret Service agents and the Uniform Division officers were allowed to check boxes. Have they ever seen or witnessed or heard of an incident that would affect national security or the safety and security of the White House or the President of himself? Over 1,000 times a box was checked. 1,000. So this is not just 2 or 3 problems. I'm worried that you could go on to this every single day, and mistakes will be made, but there's supposed to be so much redundancy built into the system that there's never, ever a concern that the President could lose his life. And when you have somebody with an arrest record standing literally within arm's length of the President of the United States, and he has a gun, and the Secret Service doesn't know that, you have a bigger, broader problem than just any one person.
Is the President of the United States, the First Lady, their 2 daughters, are they safe right now?
It scares me. The more I've learned, the more frightened I am that they are not as safe and secure as they might be. And the projection of weakness, unfortunately, I worry, will invite more attacks. So when the fence jumper goes across, has a problem, you know, this is a person who's on disability because he has problems with his foot, and nobody can get in front of him. Every layer fails, and the Secret Service puts out a press release praising their tremendous restraint and discipline. I got to tell you, that is not sending the right message to the men and women of the Secret Service. I want them to know we got their back. Nobody gets to the President. Nobody gets in the White House, no matter what. And if they have to take more dramatic steps to make sure that never happens, then that's what they have to do. I'll have their back, and I want everybody else to have their back as well. They can't make these split-second decisions in the age of ISIS and terrorists and improvised explosive devices and dirty bombs. If somebody's coming at the White House, if somebody's coming after the president's daughter, take them down.
One quick clarification, because we're out of time. First time I've heard that fence jumper had a problem with his foot. What's that all about?
My understanding is that he was on some degree of disability because he had some problems with his foot. Now, maybe I'm wrong there, but that's the way I remember it. He wasn't exactly Carl Lewis sprinting to the front door.
We'll check into that, Congressman, and I'm sure you will as well. Jason Chaffetz of Utah, thanks very much for joining us.